Now, YouTube's pretty much engineered a pretty foolproof way of isolating kiddies from adults. Now, I use the E word over there, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly. Now, obviously, me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer. Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wrong that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree-holding engineer, then for that, I do apologize. If you want to stick around, awesome. If you still feel wrong, then, I don't really give a simple as that.
Okay. In the meantime, we gotta talk about Mudahar, who has responded to the allegations that he has falsified his credentials as an engineer, and, well, a lot of other things. So here's the first thing that I want to show. Mudahar is now on Know Your Meme, which is funny because this was the first thing we showed at the beginning of a stream about Mama Max, about how Camden Gerard Davis was now on Know Your Meme, the website, and you can now look at Mudahar, who has lived long enough to see himself become the villain, as Mutahar fake engineer controversy as part of a series on Some Ordinary Gamers, now has his own page describing this, along with like Slop News Network tweets and such. So Mudahar has become the villain, folks. He has become the villain. Now, I have explained this a multitude of times. There are people who aren't knowledgeable, I guess, why people are criticizing Mudahar here, and I think it's pretty obvious that it's about a pattern of behavior. Is Mudahar a pathological liar? I don't know, but I'm kind of pretty sure at this point. And the clip we're about to show you at the very beginning of his new video, because he came back recently. He's back on YouTube now. Hoo boy, he's got the red background. That's how you know he's serious. It's just the newest in a line of really bizarre controversies. Do I think he should be canceled for buying a Nintendo Switch after saying he's not going to buy one? No. Do I think that he should be canceled because of lying about being an engineer for 10 years? I mean, we're getting closer, right? Do I think that he should be... like, again, this guy has just been going on these really weird lying arcs for basically no reason, embellishing a ton of shit, and it's just kind of bizarre behavior. The Nux Taku drama is the one that really fucking grinds my gears, because there's really two ways to navigate it. When Mudahar made a video assassinating his friend Nux Taku, was he pressured into doing it and then publishing information that he didn't believe was accurate to destroy a friend out of pressure? Because that would make him pretty bad. Or did Mudahar make a video correctly exposing a friend and get bullied into disavowing it and continuing to support this person that he actually detests their actions? Because that would be pretty bad. You know, there's not really a good way to look at that controversy unless you close your eyes and go, la la la, I can't hear you. And that's kind of the only real way you can navigate the most recent example of Mudahar being kind of a flake. What about the time that he quit drama last year and came back to cover pirate software and all these other stories? Or he quit politics and now he's making videos about Elon Musk and talking about, and going on live streams to debate streamers on Palestine. That's all in the last calendar year. The guy doesn't have really... he's kind of liquid in that regard, right? But now we're going to watch a video that kind of paints him more alike Boogie than he'd probably like to admit.
Boys and gals, me Mudahar, and
boy, me
safe
Mudahar.
to say it's been a pretty wild week. You know, I was looking at YouTube apparently rolling out an AI to...
So now he's going to stand behind AI. He comes back. It's been a wild week, guys. Mudahar hasn't uploaded in, what, like 7 days? Like, the controversy is just fucking coming at him in every angle right now. He finally engineered a response. He said it. He said the thing. Obviously, he does engage with the controversy, but he comes back and kind of hides behind a topic that's extremely safe and talks about it for about 30 minutes.
Pretty wild week.
Hey, guys, did you know that being a fake engineer is bad, but, well, AI is worse?
You know, I was looking at YouTube.
Why? Because AI is running all the engineers out of work? Is that why? Is AI coming for your not job?
Apparently rolling out an AI to verify if we are actually under or over the age of 18. You know, when it comes to the internet, ladies and gentlemen, the past 7 days has really shown me that there's a lot that's changing.
Like your line of work?
There's going to be a lot more showing your identification to access every part of the internet. That free and not...
Has his hairline receded in the last week? I feel like it was not that far back.
More
or is it just he's got a bad haircut?
Showing your identity.
He looks like he's got the not Yao Ming, who's like the dictator of, maybe, is it like a Kim Jong-un type build he's got there? It's got like that, or it's like a Chinese dictator, like killed a lot of people haircut. Like Mao Zedong. Yeah, Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. He's got like the I just killed a lot of fucking people haircut.
That there's a lot that's changing. There's going to be a lot more showing your identification to access every part of the internet. That free, anonymous...
Again, there is something inherently funny about making a video about having to show credentials and identification to access things online. There is something inherently funny. This is the topic he's coming back on.
A space that
Muda Zedong.
That many people crave and love, that is slow.
Wait, hold on. Oh, it doesn't have it. I was going to try to dub this into Chinese. I can't do it.
But surely dying out. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to look at YouTube here, where they were saying that starting August 13, 2025, so...
I love how all of his expertise is just reading Google. He's like the quartering for tech news.
Actually, not that much time left.
Whoa, editing? This is not editing. This is probably his OBS window. Like, look, I'm editing right now. Do you guys like Team Water? Ooh, boy, me Mudahar here. If you want to help put water in Africa, you can too by donating to teamwater.org. You see that? Yeah. Am I banned, Jojo? No, you're not.
They'll be rolling out an age estimation model to determine if a US user is under the age of 18.
That is what it says on the page.
So this will happen regardless of the birth date you've entered. And I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube accounts that are 99 years old, because I'm sure plenty of the young ones definitely set their age to 1900 when they were making their account, as many people back in the day did. So the model uses a variety of signals like YouTube activity and longevity of the account. If we determine you're under 18...
Yeah, I see. That's what it says on there. We're going to move ahead of this because it's just like, he's just Mudahar. We're gonna Mudahar past this a little bit.
And hey, if I watch Pokemon...
Now, keep in mind, one of the things that we criticized Carl Jobs for in the segment that was uploaded to my YouTube channel today was for burying his response in a completely unrelated video when he had to own up for something that he did wrong. Regarding Billy Mitchell, everyone's favorite YouTube video game player of the century, right? So Mudahar actually does respond to the controversy. That's the only reason we're still watching this video. And he does it in the middle and towards the end. Well, in the beginning and towards the end of this video that has nothing to do with the topic.
Minecraft, anime, Roblox. No, actually, that's for everyone. They're going to use an age estimation model that looks at a lot of deep things.
And I talked about this in a previous upload, and I think it's going to be in tomorrow's VOD, but I do think it is inherently funny that a lot of people are freaking out over the age estimation model because they're acknowledging that they watch fucking like, dude, all the My Little Pony adults are like, no, I'm going to have to show my ID because they're going to think I'm a kid. That's so funny. I'm sorry. Obviously, it's not cool that everyone has to show ID, but the concept of like the fact that you literally consume exclusively child content and you're aware of that is very funny. That part is very funny, but like the rest of it's not.
Where again, it's not just as simple as, hey, I felt nostalgic, now YouTube's treating me like a kid. And of course, no one is required to provide their ID to use YouTube.
He had a good response. I mean, I encourage you to say that to me after we hear it.
Our age estimation model determines you're under 18, you'll be notified. And if you believe it's incorrect, you have the option then to provide your ID, selfie, or a credit card. So yes, there is going to be age estimation coming, at least in the United States. And I can only imagine this will hit the entire world. Now, YouTube's pretty much engineered, I would say, in their...
He said the thing. Did you hear it? Did you hear did you hear he said the thing? YouTube, what do they do? What do they do, chat?
Will hit the entire world. Now, YouTube's pretty much engineered, I would say, in their mind, it seems a pretty foolproof way of isolating kiddies from adults. Now, I use the E word over there, and I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama.
You're a coward and a pussy, and I hate you. Dude, come on. Come on, bro. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me?
Now, I use the E word over there, and I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly.
Who the fuck just said this is a good response? This is actually the most cowardly shit I've ever seen.
I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly. So obviously, I have been calling myself a engineer, in some cases a programmer, a cybersecurity engineer, whatever you...
In some cases, I've listed like 15 different professions that I apparently do, one of which requires actual credentials and being like on a engineering list in the place that I currently preside over.
Can call it. And, you know, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide.
Oh, you don't hide that you're a dropout, but also call yourself an engineer? Okay, cool.
Now, obviously, me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer. Now, I made a lot of videos in the past where I've taught you guys about computer safety, cybersecurity, a lot of this stuff, and I think that content stands up on its own. And I believe it actually can be used, you know, and people have learned from it. And I think that's...
You know, I might have faked being a lawyer, but I got a lot of people off, and my law work was good. I'm just a fraud, but I mean, I'm good at what I do, right?
Great. Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wronged that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree-holding engineer, then for that, I do apologize. And I will denigrate my...
This guy was going to continue referring to his credentials every time he talked about any computer-type subject for the foreseeable future. He was already doing it recently, and it was showing no signs of stopping. He's literally only apologizing because you people are completely blasting his comment section and pressuring him to do so. He was absolutely fine with continuing this moving forward.
Myself to, you know, I guess programmer or fat in...
He's literally out here just saying like, yeah, I lied to you for a decade. Sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. But we did some good work.
Indian guy that knows a bit about...
If you're offended, yeah, it's also backhanded too.
Computers. That's what I'll leave it. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Now again, if you want to stick around, awesome. If you still feel wronged and this does not suffice for you, then I don't really give a fuck. Simple as that. Now, again, that being said, if anything else comes out of...
Bro, if Boogie did this, you'd have been on his ass like flies on shit. It's so annoying, bro. It's so annoying. I don't... Why does he keep doing this? What this tells me is that it's not an anomaly. This whole
Nicholas,
quitting...
the goat. I appreciate that.
We spent years bashing Tipster for getting crazy anxiety, quitting drama, coming back, and making more drama content. But Mudahar does it, and he goes, "Hoo boy, me Mudahar here," and everyone's okay with that. Thank you.
And you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review.
I got a lot of people off, Mr. Moreover, 2025.
We had fucking, like, we go after Boogie for lying about cancer, which is objectively worse than this, by the way, if we ignore the fact that, like, he kind of did something similar, not to the same
just
degree.
started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
And he's, like, leading the charge on that one, too.
Whoopsie, did I do that? Well, anyways.
Well, he's apologizing like Charlie got a story wrong. That's what's poisonous to me in this video. This is like indistinguishable from Critical getting a story
Nick
wrong.
Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
Wait, Nick. We are going to check out Harmful Opinion's newest Mudahar upload, right?
It's right here. I promise. Just wait. Just wait. It's up. We're gonna react to it. It's coming, right? But that's kind of the big fucking thing here. That's the elephant in the room. And it's like I'm sorry. If that's going to be his response, is that like, I lied to you for 10 years and I don't give a fuck, and if you're offended, fuck you. If that's really going to be his response here, then is it really harsh to say the guy's just a pathological liar? How many examples do I need to present? He's been doing this for a full fucking year, and apparently he's been doing it for a lot longer.
This, you know, whether there be some legal stuff done, I'll just let lawyers handle it and we'll call it at that. But that being said...
He's acknowledging the fact that it is potentially illegal to do that. And he's like, fuck it, dude. If I'll let my lawyers handle it. Gotta pay a fine, I'll pay a fucking fine. Not even denying that it could be happening.
Whether there be some legal stuff done, I'll just let lawyers handle it and we'll call it at that. But that being said, I want to move forward, and that's pretty much the engineered response that I had to give. And that being said, let's look even further into what...
Now, again, he talks a big game here at the 2-minute mark of his video, but if you jump to the 30-minute mark of his video, he doesn't really maintain that energy.
There has been a concerted effort to take away all of that freedom, overnight, basically. And I don't know what else there is that anybody can do other than just...
Now, obviously, here he's talking about, like, the online anonymity and stuff.
Kind of sit there and enjoy the time that we have left.
You know what's funny is he's talking about online anonymity, right? And we covered this last time. I'll play it one more time. Online anonymity is good because it allows people to stay safe online. But one thing that Mudahar has always been passionate about, apparently, is looking into people's credentials when they claim to be someone that they're not. Here's Mudahar explaining why it's important to sometimes break that anonymity thing.
Now, at the time, I was in a relationship with another woman, right?
Okay, so this is not the clip that I thought it was. That's not it. I'm sorry. This is the
Tons of grifty accounts online fell for this one fucking person lying about their, credentials as a Japanese university historian expert. Even though it took 5 seconds to Wayback Machine their account and figure out, oh, they were just some random white guy from, some part in Indiana, okay, some random dude on the internet. And even if you took their Japanese, name, put it into, the Tokyo University or whatever university they claim to be, you couldn't even find that person. See, people don't even want to do the bare minimum of research. Nobody wants to do even 5 minutes of research.
Yeah, so if I lied about being an engineer for 10 years, fuck you, leave the channel. But if anybody else does this stuff, figure it out.
They'll believe anything an account says. Now imagine with generative AI, taking the...
Oh, look, that AI stuff. Look, there's a connection here. I miss the old Mudahar. Don't you miss the old Mudahar who wasn't falling through the pit of hypocrisy?
Extra steps to, bulletproof this account and make it look even more legitimate. You could actually go beyond just goofing on Assassin's Creed Shadows and turn it into serious misinformation. Imagine an actual piece of misinformation suddenly showing up on national news, international news.
Yeah. Or imagine just some guy brandishing false credentials on a live stream to make himself sound more intelligent and pretend that he's doing a lot more in his life than he actually is because he's kind of a loser.
That's really all that one can do. And sure, you can use technologies like Tor, you can use plenty of technologies that still provide anonymity, but who's to say down the road that the government's not going to start saying that, hey, if you start using Tor, only criminals use the dark web. We might want to restrict access.
Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffels appreciated the shout.
Thank you.
Doctor here, and I think Muda is in the right. His story reminds me of my own. I dropped out of med school 1 year in, however, I passed with a B+ in health class in middle school.
I should be able to give people Vicodin!
Encrypted into a,
Thank you for hitting the goal. You guys you've engineered one more goal.
Encrypted file. You can send that to your friends, and as long as they have your keys, they can decrypt your message. You can send this message over actual public services, and governments won't be able to decrypt. A lot of the stuff that gives us privacy and communication between people, that's slowly being taken away. And
what was that?
Privacy and communication between people, that
was probably his wife messaging him on Discord to let him know that you need to stop recording this fucking video.
Slowly being taken away. And that is by far.
It's funny because he records these things the same way that Brad Taste of Music does. Just one take. Get it out there.
Some of the most blackpilling shit that I've actually ever seen. But,
Sorry, alleged wife.
Really makes me wonder, what my future is.
And no, that's not transvestigating. He just keeps calling her girlfriend and wife interchangeably, so I don't really know.
Too. And I'm not saying this is I'm retiring right now, but I wouldn't honestly say expect to
Oh my god, bro.
I'm saying this is I'm retired.
Bro. So at the beginning, he's like, if you don't like me, fuck you. At the end, he's like, all right, dude, that didn't feel good. This 30-minute OBS recording did not feel fun, dude. I might quit.
Some of the most blackpilling shit that I've actually ever seen. But, it really makes me wonder, what my future is, too.
And I'll tell you what it's not. Being an engineer.
I'm not saying this is I'm retiring right now, but I wouldn't honestly say expect a video even tomorrow, or expect a video every day. Because my time on the internet, me personally, given changes in my life when it comes to my personal stuff, I would rather dedicate my time to family first, and most importantly. At this point, I've made my money, I've made my time, made my mark.
Oh, what? We found out about your little 10-year lie, and now you gotta go run to your wife? Oh no. I thought you were being so badass 10 minutes ago. What happened?
On the internet, it is what it is. And I would rather focus on, a part of life that isn't being invaded by the government, and it isn't being invaded by third-party companies. Because I really do think that what we're seeing now is just sort of...
He's going to watch this? He's probably watching it now.
Mr.
It's
Oreo.
embarrassing, dude. It's so fucking embarrassing.
Start.
I respected the shit out of this guy. I thought he did a lot of real good work. Now I'm finding out. Here's a video that has 6,000 views 3 weeks ago, where this guy is an accountant who tears him to shreds. And we're going to promote the fuck out of this video today because nobody's seen it. But yeah, that's just my point.
I think the internet is going to look a lot different in a year. And I think that literally is going to happen because...
Light doxing is wild? Light doxing? What do you mean light doxing?
Now, I've also been sent what are apparently Do Jengle's Instagram stories. She says, everyone's signal boosting, fuck me. I read it as Jesse Single. Everyone's signal boosting a video with a light dox, and now people are working to dox your family.
Now, I'll even agree,
Nicholas DeOrio.
in some
Definitely
capacity,
appreciate
not with
the
the term light dox,
Nick, please
but I'll
stop
say that there's like,
respecting YouTubers. Every time you do, they turn evil.
I'll even agree that it's pretty fucking weird to triangulate somebody's location. You look like a schizophrenic A-log when you do that. But keep in mind, the girl who posted that on her story, the alleged wife of Mudahar, is this woman who was on a fucking podcast with Tipster and Mudahar, and her big comeback in the debate was to tell everybody where he lived.
You're just mad because I get mad e-girls as my fat fucking ass. They
Weirdo,
hey,
dog.
you're just mad because I get mad e-girls as my fat fucking ass. They all want the tip, dude. And this is the best you can do is this trailer park trash right here.
We're talking about the dumpster.
I'm just saying that's the best you can get is this
Really?
trailer park trash right here. This
Trailer park trash?
looking
Jesus
motherfucker, dude.
Christ.
I'm sorry,
Brother, where do you
can't
live
hang.
in Los
can't
Angeles? Every
fucking
time I
hang.
fly
Don't you live
out.
Don't you live in?
So Tipster's frozen because she apparently just said what was his county?
Oh, really?
Oh my
You
god!
never even
You-
make it here. Every time I
You really want to
Sounds like a pretty light dox.
go there? You really
Yeah,
want to
we
go
did.
there?
you want to fly
Because
out
I heard.
to weirdo,
Hey,
dog.
you're just
That's pretty weird. Yeah, it sounds like my area code and county. Yeah, my area code and county. So that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, I mean, that's a good time. And it was literally just to win a fucking stupid debate. It's Tipster and Blacks versus Mudahar and his fucking loudmouth, obnoxious bitch wife. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. I mean, I don't really think you have room to talk. I mean, yeah, area code, bro. We gotta talk about the 313. Dude, he literally just said you're trailer trash in a fun fucking podcast. Keep in mind, this is the entire thing is to just kind of be dicks to each other. Like it's a fun show where you're talking trash to each other. And then she literally responded with 5363 Wantabo Apartment 6. Like, okay, cool, nice. Oh god, the worst thing that happened in the Tipster controversy was having to acknowledge her like she made good arguments.
I think a lot of people that have been used to the anonymity, that have been used to it being one of the last frontiers, that's going to be taken away. So for me, you know, I don't know. I'm not to ever completely retire off the internet, but you know, if I
thought you were friends with Doe. Doe hated me. Then we agreed on Tipster arguments, and then Doe was like, I think she was like, I don't know for a matter of fact, so I don't want to say she was like subtweeting me. But when I got into drama with like every person in the community, I did notice on my timeline that she was like pretty fucking excited about it. And I thought, well, I didn't know if it was her actually being excited about it or her just putting out a tweet that kind of seemed like that at the time. But yeah, no, she literally only agreed with me on the Tipster stuff. Now, we actually had a conversation where I was saying she was being too hard on Tipster at one point on Augie's stream going all the way back. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of this response. What are people saying about bro really made us wait a week for nothing burgers? I gotta say, the Some Ordinary Gamers subreddit has been like a glimmering, shining piece of hope. Because you could read this stuff and you were getting like a new post every hour on the hour of like his fans being like,
I just saw Keffel's tweet.
is the engineer drama
Nicholas
if
DeOrio.
over? Who's
Keffels
next?
appreciated the shout out.
Mudahar uploaded unemployed guy back to it's before this. It was like, guys, this is really not that bad. Do you think this is that bad? I don't think this is that bad. Where's the video that brought him down about being an engineer?
I just saw Keffel's tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffels appreciated the shout out.
Wait, what? Why are they invoking the Goonicide? Let's remind ourselves of what occurred the last time a controversy like this happened. I think it was funny to make fun of that guy too. I mean, I don't like what happened, but like, he came out with his cock in his hand at the fucking window of like a 7-Eleven. Not a 7-Eleven, like I'm sorry.
Nick just started
Is it
insulting
bad
me
to ridicule
viciously
a
on
guy
Twitter.
who just flashes women? Oh, I'm so sorry what happened to him. Maybe he should have cheated on his wife by pulling out his cock at the window of a fucking Starbucks, dude. The Goonicide guy? Fuck that shit, dude. I don't believe Muda lied. Well, you're wrong. He doesn't owe anything to a random bunch of nobodies on the internet. Cope. What is this? Nothing burger. It was like every hour on the hour. Comparing Muda to Pirate Software, why people judge him less strictly. That one's actually a negative post. I don't think any of this controversy matters. Like, there was just a new post from every single member of the subreddit trying to fill it back up with people saying it doesn't matter. And it just does. It ultimately does matter. So here's what people said about it from a Mudahar-centric subreddit. Hey guys and gals, why is he addressing this on again? From a scale of 1 to Pirate Software, he hasn't really done anything wrong. Imagine if Pirate Software lied about working for Blizzard and we
What's
found
the
out he
name of
never worked
the
there.
guy, Keemstar Orbiter, Nick Oreo.
At least Pirate Software
Mr.
worked for
Oreo.
Blizzard.
Nick, don't you dare insult the ghost of the goon hashtag I can't goon.
Bro only addressed the dropout aspect. He didn't explain why he did it or why he makes himself the Johnny Sins of engineers. I mean, this guy was talking... You're forgetting this stuff. He also did like a thing with Intel. That was kind of crazy if you look at the sponsorship aspect of it, considering he was telling everyone he was an engineer. And then the other aspect of it was... that he was talking about creating like AI upscaling technology, like the shit that Nvidia is making.
Level deflection and denial.
I'm telling you, if Boogie did this exact act right now, post-cancer, pre-cancer, I don't care. Muda would be fucking raking him over the coals right now. He'd be ultimate raking him over the coals. That basically just tells me he lied about all that stuff, because if he lied about being a dropout, then he's not really an engineer, owns a business, and had a gay interaction with his... Okay, that's another part of this. We're going to get there. The gay interaction with a friend thing, I don't know anything about that. We're going to find out about that in real time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about our ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me about... Would you like to know about some of the ladies and gentlemen, what your ladies and gentlemen, while they speak about some of the ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen at the end of the day? I feel like we've poisoned the mind of the Mudahar haters. The ooh boy, me Mudahar here, ladies and gentlemen at the end of the day shit is so fucking funny. It's like his Charlieism. Like, that is his help? Sorry, we just stroked out. Show tits, degrees, or get the fuck out. Why not both? Very disappointed in the response. Why did he wait so long if he's gonna... Because he wasn't waiting to provide, like, to make a big exposed video. One of two things were gonna happen. He was panicking in his room, shuddering at the thought of making a response. Or he was making a thorough response. And it's very clear it was the first one, right? He did it. He didn't address it, which is smart. Well, he did. He did watch the video. Bro literally said, I don't give a fuck. There's not a chance in hell I'm watching 32 minutes of exaggerated laughter at things that are not inherently funny. To me, it comes across as he lied about it all. He basically admitted that the engineer part was a lie. So what else could he have lied about? A lot. A cursory look through... Is cursory the right word? A little look through his channel would show a lot of bullshit inconsistencies that he's had just in the past year alone. Was anything he said about it true? Him partially responding to it. Just let me know if that was all a lie, like him privating videos. He lied about being in TVs and movies and traveling all... I don't know about that. Did he do that? He addressed 10% and ignored the rest, then proceeded to give the weekly news a la Keemstar in his true slop tuber fashion. Yeah, 2 minutes of saying I'm not an actual engineer if you take offense to my blatant lying. What an asshole. Literally lies for 10 years. Oh, but I actually thought this would be a much more defensive subreddit. I'm actually surprised they're kind of turning on him. He lost all credibility. Noah Samson won. Jesus. When is that lawsuit starting, though? He's been talking about suing Noah Samson for months. So I guess he's still a CEO who goes to the office as well as a work history and movie industry. If he is, what then? If he isn't, what then, right? It doesn't fucking matter. It really does. It, like, really does matter. Fuck, it's 32 minutes long. Must have went through his work history. Nope. He ignored everything. What a clown. I'm sorry. Like, some people are not taking the fact that their favorite YouTuber is, like, a pathological lying fraud. So, it's kind of a shame. All right, I want to take a look. We're not going to watch this one because we have lots of stuff to go over tonight. And the first one that I want to spend some time in is going over the Gerard the Completionist video. I don't think Gerard the Completionist is a redeemed entity, even after this video. But what I do think is Karl Jobst and Mudahar are fucking idiots. And they didn't do their due diligence. And they talked about shit they didn't understand. And they left a lot of holes open that Gerard could come back. Similarly to how Mutahar made some missteps during the Mama Max situation. And Karl Jobst put himself in a position where he now is like funding Billy Mitchell's retirement, right? Karl Jobst got the repercussions of being a hotshot douchebag and talking about shit that he doesn't understand. Mudahar didn't, and he's starting to feel it now. But somebody who's an accountant went through and looked at the books, and it's not what Mudahar told you.
For a year now since the investigation into the Open Hand Foundation was conducted, led by the YouTubers Karl Jobst and Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. Since their original publications, a handful of other content creators have also covered the story.
We are going to cover the other story. I'm not skipping it. It's here. I just want to hit the things that matter before we get into Mudahar's potential affair with Nexpo. I don't know what the fuck the context is. I have no idea. I want to get the main meat, eggs, and potatoes out, and then we could talk about the gay allegation, I guess. I don't know.
Citing the evidence presented by Karl and Mudahar. Today, as I search the Open Hand Foundation and other related searches on YouTube, I see little...
Smaggle, this video came out last month. This wasn't during the drama. This guy didn't make this video until last month.
to no videos or updates from other creators revisiting this topic or providing much of an update on them.
So we're going to jump ahead. There are individual segments here that you can check out. Financial statements and reporting, tax reporting, public charities versus private foundations, programming service, fundraising activities, how to report program revenue. If it sounds boring, some of it is, but this guy is pretty fucking good. Like, he's pretty entertaining about it. So let's talk about the financial statement versus reporting versus tax reporting segment.
Let's start with the discussion on financial statement reporting versus tax reporting. This is actually one of the more obvious mistakes that Carl and Mudahar made because they failed to understand that there is a distinction between financial statement reporting and tax reporting. In his video, when Mudahar tells you that all your revenues are everything that you made before any consideration of expenses.
If you have, let's say the golf event cost $60,000 to run, right? And it cost, and they made like what, 30,000? So $60,000 to run the event, but they made 30 grand. It wouldn't matter, okay? Because you would still see the $30,000 show up.
By the way, again, when Mudahar is talking about all this shit, you would expect, because he's a CEO of a company and has a large work background, that he would understand. I think that's what he claims to be, like a CEO of something. I imagine he's just talking about like his LLC, but I don't know what it actually is, right? But he bolsters his credibility. So when you hear this guy talk, it sounds like more than bullshit. It was bullshit.
Part of the revenue, right? And the $60,000, if they chose...
Hey, accounting and YouTube is in chat right now. Hope you're doing good, buddy.
To build,
I saw you in Chud's chat. You seem pretty shells.
Or if they chose to take costs out of the charity, would be reflective. It would show.
I want to know how many 7-Elevens this guy owns. And that's not like a racial comment. He says he owns 7-Elevens, like a whole lot of them. I would like to know that as well.
Open the cost sections. Remember, revenue is all the money you've made before you...
CEO of a hedge fund management company. So he should probably know about these books. This should be something that he understands.
Start factoring in, oh shit, it cost me more.
Mooney was trampled by Carl and his fans. True, 100%. Mooney's video is also not like the best. So that's like another aspect to it too. Mooney put like a lot of bullshit in there. And it sparked, like, it hit like the easy to dismiss buttons. And that was kind of also his blunder. Not to say that like it was completely justified how hard Mooney got pushed. It wasn't. We talked about it recently in another video, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think Mooney didn't really do himself any favors with how that video is structured.
So now, the revenue that I made, I'm actually going into the loss, okay?
This statement is more indicative of financial statement reporting, and it doesn't always reflect how tax reporting works. A key thing you must understand is that financial statement reporting and tax reporting follow two different sets of standards.
And again, this is what you would know if you just spoke to an accountant or did your due diligence. But if you're like ChatGPT, Google warriors, you put yourself in a position to make like mistakes like this.
Financial statement reporting follows...
Did Nick end his beef with accountants today and today only?
...standards called GAAP, G-A-A-P, which stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. GAAP is a set of standardized rules, guidelines, and procedures used in the United States to prepare and present financial statements.
It's also weird that Moody didn't know how complicated this particular area of accounting can be. Yeah, because statistically, based off the stuff that he's told us that he is and does, we would expect him to have this baseline knowledge. And yeah, that kind of plays into the credibility aspect of the stuff that he said.
GAAP accounting is regulated by a body called the Financial Accounting Standards Board. Tax reporting does not follow the reporting standards spelled out by GAAP. They instead follow guidelines set primarily by the Internal Revenue Code, which is enforced.
The only thing I know about GAAP insurance is I think you're supposed to get it when you buy a car, right? Like you're supposed to have that.
The Internal Revenue Service. The reason there are differences between financial statement reporting and tax reporting is because they serve different purposes. Financial statement reporting aims to provide a clear and accurate representation of a company's financial position for end users and readers of financial statements, whereas tax accounting is focused on adhering to IRS regulations.
You're thinking of SafeLight? The only thing I know about SafeLight is SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace. I don't know what that is. I just know the thing. You don't have to get GAP, but it's not a bad idea in case you want to get into an accident and the car is totaled. Well, you probably should for a Tesla because they depreciate so fucking fast that you won't be able to buy another one.
To calculate taxable income and obligations. Tax accounting specifically for nonprofits focuses on ensuring compliance with IRS requirements while maintaining their tax-exempt status. Although nonprofits are not typically taxed on their primary mission-related income, they still must follow specific tax rules and file annual returns.
So some of this stuff is slow, but ultimately it gets to the... Like, you hear what Mudahar and Carl say throughout this, and this stuff that he puts in here, I recommend you watch it through his video if you're actually super interested in this. It's not, like, indicative of what they're actually trying to argue. Right? Like, they don't have a firm understanding on any of these issues. And it's not like they're just talking about something minor that doesn't matter. They're accusing people of fraud. That's like this is like Carl Jobst was telling people that they were going to go to jail. He was bragging that Gerard and his family are going to go to jail. So it is kind of important to have your I's fucking dotted and your T's crossed when you're talking about accusing somebody of fraud.
Status as a public charity via this letter is only conditional until they fully complete.
Let's get to some of the more, what is this? The golf event conclusions. Yeah, the golf event was one of the things specifically that was really difficult, I guess, to look back on now in hindsight, because they talk so much shit about the golf event. Do you remember that? Basically what happened is Gerard the Completionist had a charity event where all the money was just kind of sitting there and it didn't seemingly go to the charities immediately that they were claiming to send it to, because obviously he was doing Indieland, and that kind of was like the end of his career because his response was really bad. He didn't post for like a year, but they also alleged that his fucking parents were like stealing money from like a golf charity event as well that was involving other. And again, Carl Jobst was significantly harsher in his criticism of Gerard the Completionist and much more poignant in his statements accusing them of fraud. Mudahar was kind of making cucked down versions of those videos, while kind of making those same arguments. Also, I gotta say, this accountant guy has all the music shit down. He unironically knows exactly what kind of songs to use in a Mutahar Carl exposed video.
If you've gotten this far, congratulations. We are finally at the end of all of the accounting and tax talk. Let's now take what we've learned in the past half hour and relate it to Carl and Mudahar's accounting calculations. Let's first start with the golf event. One of the troubles I ran into while evaluating Carl and Mudahar's evidence is, because they didn't base their evidence on any tax accounting principles, I basically had to infer what they were trying to say. When I say they didn't base their evidence on tax accounting principles, what I mean is, did you see them cite the tax instructions at all? Did you hear them mention anything that I discussed in this video?
No, they just kind of boilerplated it in a video. And I think the response to Mooney, where Carl kind of turned around and said, like, you don't know what I know about this situation because I didn't put everything that I know about it in a video. You only know what I have chosen to show you and only know the parts of this story that I have chosen to let you see. When Mooney tried to argue something similar.
Did you hear them discuss the differences of program services and fundraisers, the complications with Open Hands private foundation or public charity status, quid pro quo contributions, indirect fundraising expenses, things like that? These are the types of things that must be considered when you're evaluating anything related to nonprofit tax accounting. And because I'd never heard them say anything about these, it's allowed me to come to the conclusion that their research lacked any application of tax accounting. So we basically need to reverse engineer into the tax accounting principles they were implying. I apologize. I know I've played this clip a couple times already.
Play it one more time for me. Play it one more time for me because we haven't seen it yet.
To play the relevant part one last time so we can take the info Mudahar gives us and apply it to the nonprofit tax principles we just learned, since he didn't do this in his
Show me my engineer's favorite argument.
Investigation.
you would still see the $30,000 show up as part of the revenue, right? And the $60,000, if they chose to bill themselves or if they chose to take costs out of the charity, would be reflective. It would show up in the cost sections. Remember, revenue is all the money you've made before you start factoring in, oh shit, it cost me more to run it, so now the revenue that I made, I'm actually going into the loss, okay?
This is why I had to end my beef with statisticians and accountants.
So Mudahar is implying here that the golf event should be calculated and reported as a program service, because like we learned earlier, program services report gross revenues and all expenses related to the program service. However, the golf event cannot be considered a program service for OpenHand. This is because, again, a private foundation's programs must benefit a public charity, and we know that they didn't do that because OpenHand was the beneficiary and not any charitable organization.
And I don't think that you would understand that. I don't think that I would understand that. I think an accountant would understand that. And it's kind of shocking if they didn't run it by one, or if the one that they ran it by didn't point that out.
This can also be confirmed because when we resort to their 990PF filing, we can see that no program service revenues were recognized. This means that when Mudahar tells you that $55,000 of golf sponsorship revenue should be counted towards 2019...
I thought he said he did, and a lawyer too. Carl Job said that he was going to win his lawsuit. At this point, Mudahar said he was an engineer. Mudahar said he was quitting drama. At this point, I don't know if I believe a fucking word these guys say.
He's incorrect. Since the revenue is not classified as program revenues, it's not reported as a gross total. This is one of the main reasons why Carl and Mudahar think that OpenHand is underreporting their revenue, because the revenue figure he's using and the tax accounting principles he's implying are factually incorrect. In order to come to the conclusion...
It's crazy. Is that not fucking insane?
...that the golf...
It's like his argument isn't even possible to exist. It's like, I got this wrong, therefore you're committing fraud.
Golf event is a fundraiser. We need to remind ourselves what constitutes a program service for a private foundation. The activity itself must accomplish the non-exempt purpose of the private foundation.
Now I see why CoffeeZilla didn't jump in. That's a really good point. This seems right up CoffeeZilla's alley. I mean, charity fraud, quote unquote, was in this year, like the year that this happened in. Maybe charity fraud is a bit over the top, but you have to remember, this happened the same year that Creator Clash 2 happened. When I came back to YouTube, I was planning a video essay to talk about Gerard the Completionist and Creator Clash, and go over YouTube's worst charity events, and point out that 2 of them were for the past year. Obviously, then the Mama Max happened, and then Mama Max became a huge topic, and then I made the video, and now we're here. But, like, it feels like every time I'm going to make a video and I don't make it, fucking a higher power smites down the person that I was going to cover and saves me from looking like a complete moron publicly.
Additionally, as if I haven't said this enough, a program service of a private foundation must benefit a public charity.
My sources, I made it the fuck up. Well, maybe that or ChatGPT, and I know it's coming, so it's not gonna get me, motherfucker. I saw it on the screen, and it hasn't gone off yet, and it still hasn't gone off yet, and I don't know when it's gonna play. I don't know why it's delayed. I'm kind of just waiting here. I'm in limbo right now as the sound effect is supposedly going to play. I'm gonna hit unpause, and...
Let's look at the attributes of the golf event and ask whether...
Still not there. What the fuck?
It accomplishes OpenHand's mission to promote research to find a cure for FTD. Remember, we need to remove the charitable aspect of the event and determine if the event itself progresses OpenHand's mission.
I want to go to the part where Carl Job starts talking about fraud. Can we, let me see this. Fraud. A lawyer did talk about charity fraud way back then. People jumped down his throats that it wasn't legally fraud, so he delisted the video.
Organization that is OpenHand. Like I said earlier, I will not be addressing the allegations of charity fraud.
Go to the Internet Accountant section. Is that what you want me to take a look at? Internet Accountant. Yeah, this one. Let's take a look here. Again, this video is criminally underviewed by somebody who actually has some knowledge on what they're talking about.
Let's give one last listen to the claims made by Carl and Mudahar regarding all of their evidence.
To understand if all the money isn't accounted for in a charity when you are raising money for the charity, the government considers that to be illegal. That can be fraudulent. That could be embezzlement. That could be mishandling of funds, which is a severe illegal no-no. What appears on the surface is that there is a pretty glaring discrepancy in the revenue that is reported. It seems that the Open Hand Foundation may be underreporting their actual money.
I do believe the Khalil family have been stealing tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, Carl, you see what I said before, where Mudahar was giving kind of the watered down version of Carl Jobst's nuclear fucking response? Mudahar's just like, they could be potentially underreporting, and then fucking Carl's like, I think that Khalil fucking Gerard has committed fraud.
Their actual money.
I do believe the Khalil family have been stealing tens of thousands of dollars each year from charity donations.
Because now we don't even have trustworthy accounting at this moment.
And the interesting thing about the money the golf tournament raises is that it seems to disappear.
In the signature section, it says, under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have examined this return, including accompanying schedules and statements to the best of my knowledge and belief. It is true, correct, and complete. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a crime. Perjury. Again, I am just doing the most basic third-party accounting that I can do. I could only imagine what the IRS, the DOJ will find with books.
Dude, I can't. The IRS, dude, they're deploying everybody in. You know what? I'll say it. I don't care if the fucking people investigate him on his engineering shit. I don't think that you should be fucking fined or go to jail for that. Probably fined. But ultimately, do you have a real issue if people are fucking reporting him for that? If these guys... at this point, I don't really care. I think Harmful Opinions reported him for the engineering thing. After hearing this clip, I don't really care anymore.
This seemingly fucked, and they are still, in the land of underreporting the revenue.
Let me be perfectly clear.
Yeah, I just read the context. I definitely, at the very least, heavily implied he embezzled money, which he did. And I'm doing a major follow-up video. I think the family is going to jail. What is with Carl Jobst's, fixation on family? It's like, oh, yeah, his family's going to jail. I'm going to go after Billy Mitchell's kid.
Carl and Mudahar confirmed nothing with their research and...
Why didn't Gerard defend himself? Because he genuinely did fuck up. But they overextended and overplayed their hand dramatically. If that makes sense. I don't think that Gerard the completionist, even by this video standards, is fully vindicated of all charges. It's just that these guys did what we talk about a million times on YouTube. They got a couple of easy W's. Their videos were performing well. They weren't maybe the most, I guess the points wouldn't stand up to scrutiny, every one of them at least. But then they overplayed their hand.
Evidence.
You claim to care about rape, and you're hyping up a dude
I don't know why
who
the
has
other
a
one didn't
segment on a
play.
show called Ultimate Rape Review.
Into the allegation
Testes.
Thank you.
of embezzlement or missing funds. Period. Frankly, no qualified tax accountant, CPA, or accounting professional would have come to the conclusions that they did based on the evidence that they presented.
I mean, this guy, look, he's spitting. He's spitting. Yeah, a bunch of... a fake engineer and a fake investigative journalist didn't do as good as, an accountant professional would if they made the video. I mean, I think that's to be expected in some degree. But, again, you have to look back at all these situations now with some of these new pieces of information. I don't like going out of our way to, vindicate bad faith actors. And I think, to a degree, Gerard the Completionist probably does hit that. But... ultimately, it is worth looking at how Mudahar conducted himself previously now that his mask has slipped.
It simply does not hold up under any professional standard. But Carl and Mudahar aren't tax or accounting professionals, so that kind of checks out. Unless you had direct access to their books, bank statements, and receipts, no one can certifiably claim that they caught anyone pocketing money or claim that money is missing.
This is a conversation that I, by the way, not an accountant, who doesn't bolster credentials, I had a conversation with Bulblax about a similar subject from the same year regarding charity. Bulblax wanted to make a video crunching the numbers on Creator Clash. And I said, Bulblax, that's really dangerous because you're opening up a huge can of worms and they have books yeah, Creator Clash was a failure. But if you sit here and try to punch the numbers that you see with your eyeballs, it's like exposing Trisha Paytas as like BPD because of skit videos she uploaded to YouTube. You can't really diagnose somebody with a personality disorder based off of YouTube videos. You also probably can't make a video exposing direct numbers on Creator Clash if you don't have access to their books. You can try, but if you get it wrong, they hold all the cards. So they could just open up their books, call you a fraud, and destroy you publicly. Now, it didn't happen like that, but that is the risk that you make when you're making allegations and you don't have, like, you have way less information than the person you're exposing, and you're kind of just hoping that they're getting hit so hard they won't be able to respond to you.
Unless Carl is
What is it with Bo Black's asking for advice? He ran and did it anyway, and you know what? It didn't blow up in his face yet.
holding back some clear, indisputable evidence.
I think he was a bit more. I think he was a bit, he went a bit safer than I think he was initially going to. But
something that directly shows funds meant for Open Hand were diverted to Gerard or another member of the Khalil family, then he doesn't have shit. It's not even up for debate. As far as Mudahar goes, he's culpable for performing poor research and not understanding nonprofit tax accounting.
And you'd think he would kind of know some of this stuff? Am I being too, mean?
I know he said a few times in his coverage that he did the most basic third-party accounting he could, but that's part of the problem with his research. Accounting isn't basic. Tax accounting isn't basic. Non-profit tax accounting...
we have this college dropout reading about accounting on Google to make the video that destroys this guy's career. I feel like you could do a little bit more.
...is definitely not basic. Allegations of missing funds require more than just a cursory review. His research should have been far more thorough. And this is honestly what's most disappointing about Mudahar's research and evidence. I've seen a lot of his videos, and I hear him say consistently that he considers himself a good researcher and he won't disseminate information unless it can 100% be verified. But he didn't do that here, not even close.
And that's a new thing that Mudahar said he was doing. I don't ever remember him saying that he's not taking anything at face value unless he's physically holding the device and can literally scroll until it got to Mama Mac stuff. Now, just to be clear, maybe you're going to hold allegations of grooming, mass examples of child abuse and stuff like that. Maybe you're holding that standard a bit higher for a more important allegation, but shooting from the hip on fraud is still pretty bad. It's not really in line with that more recent thing that he's claimed he does.
This is just my opinion, but it seems like Mudahar realized this at a certain point too, and when he realized he didn't have what he needed to confirm his theories, he just made something up and pointed the finger at Open Hand for why that was.
When has Mudahar ever done that? Oh my god. When has Mudahar ever gotten something dramatically wrong, pointed the finger at the person he's trying to expose, and threw them under the bus? When has that ever happened, chat? And then uploaded a second video saying, "Hoo boy, me Mudahar here. I got a couple of things wrong, but I guess I'm the reason why this guy's donating to charity."
I'm actually really happy that Ethan Klein has donated $100,000 because it's $100,000 that's going to people out there that need it the most right now. And that's something that I don't think anybody should fault Ethan for. I know a lot of people want to get into the whole idea of he's doing it to save face. Oh shit, you lit a fire under his ass and caused it. And sure, those points might be true.
You didn't light a fire under my ass.
He slandered Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein then donated a large amount of money, and he's then taking credit for that, correcting his wrong information briefly, and then blaming Ethan for it.
Fucking aficionado of handing out these reality checks to a lot of things.
And taking credit for my $100,000 donation is beyond insane.
Now, keep in mind, the allegation was that Ethan Klein donation shamed, and Mudahar responded by taking credit for his donation, and then donation shaming.
Now, going back to that original video, I'm going to take an L on a point where I talked about...
A point. It was the entirety of the video.
Ethan Klein donation shaming Jeff Bezos, and while he didn't outright donation shame Jeff Bezos...
If the video was 10 minutes, it was 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and the other 10 seconds were him getting everything wrong about FUPA.
It's honestly really, really hard to sometimes look in that favor, because when you go and check Ethan's podcast record, you can see that he's definitely punching around at billionaires all the time.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Was that an apology I heard? He's somehow blaming me.
So what did he do here?
He just made, and when he realized he didn't have what he needed to confirm his theories, he just made something up and pointed the finger at Openhand for why that was.
It seems like we could establish a bit of a pattern of behavior here.
We'll talk about that shortly. At the beginning of this video, I said my approach was to examine the evidence presented by Carl and Mudahar and come to some sort of conclusion on all of it. In terms of the golf event, their accounting research, evidence, and calculations were shit. Their research and evidence was lackluster, which isn't surprising.
By the way, hearing an accountant being like, this whole thing, like after, by the way, you're watching a part that's coming after an hour of like kind of lower energy, not lower energy, but like, you know, less interesting but important accounting information, and then he just lets loose at the end. He's like, their information, their research was shit. It was horrible. It was poop from a butt.
Calculations were shit. Their research and evidence was lackluster, which isn't surprising given that their research appears to have relied largely...
Well, Mr. Accounting in YouTube, did you know that he's kind of the aficionado of handing out reality checks?
...on looking at pictures online and Google searches. Their accounting evidence failed to incorporate any fundamental nonprofit tax principles, and it clearly demonstrates that they did little to no research on.
Well, listen, Mr. Accounting in YouTube, did you consider that his engineering degree allowed him to fail to account for that?
This. Carl mentioned in one of his videos that something like fraud is really hard to prove.
I'm not sure why they brought up the IRS, but this assumes the IRS is some kind of omnipresent being that immediately detects fraud the moment it happens and intervenes. This notion is simply untrue. Many crimes, especially fraud, go undetected, and unless you do something especially egregious on your filings, nothing will be flagged to the IRS.
I agree with this wholeheartedly, which is kind of why I find it odd that these two internet accountants can somehow believe that they can prove money was missing or embezzled because of looking at photos online and punching numbers in a calculator.
I'm sorry, dude. You know what your video is missing, bro? You need more of the Carl Jobst music so people think... Dude, that's the issue. Carl Jobst speaks confidently over video game music. Listen to that exact line of logic again, which I thought was pretty punchy. But look how much more punchy it is when you play it over GoldenEye.
Missing or embezzled
IRS.
I agree with this wholeheartedly, which is kind of why I find it odd that these two internet accountants can somehow believe that they can prove money was missing or embezzled because of looking at photos online and punching numbers in a calculator. Regarding Indieland, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to them and assume they were misled by Gerard, who repeatedly claimed, falsely, that they never touched the funds generated by Indieland.
Go to 41.
However,
go to 41 minutes. Here we go. 41 minutes golf event. I think we just watched this, didn't we? The golf event?
To Carl and Mudahar's accounting calculations. Let's first start with the golf event. One of the troubles I ran into while evaluating Carl and Mudahar's evidence is, because they didn't base their evidence on any tax accounting principles, I basically had to infer what they were trying to say. When I say they didn't base their evidence on tax accounting principles, what I mean is, did you see them cite the tax instructions at all?
Yeah, we covered this part already. We looked at this. But yeah, they didn't. They didn't do that at all.
Online. If you're turning to Twitter for credible information, then we're dealing with a whole different kind of fucking problem. In fact, Mudahar himself admitted something about Twitter that I found
What did he
interesting.
say?
But what was really wild to me was how some of the individuals, at least on Twitter, and again, I don't use Twitter as an intelligent metric.
Twitter may not be a...
By the way, he didn't use Twitter at all. Do you remember when he didn't use Twitter at all? That he announced he was leaving Twitter and then he came back and started tweeting again the minute he got into drama with fucking Noah Sampson? He's like, I'm off Twitter, guys, and he just started... okay, it's another one.
...reliable source of intelligent information, yet it was somehow considered sufficient to support allegations of embezzlement or missing funds. It's quite the contradiction, if you ask me.
Ooh.
When this story came out, and we only knew about the money that hadn't been donated, Gerard and Openhand's conduct needed to be called out. I think we're all glad that it was. I think we're all glad that they finally donated the money.
True.
From here on out, I'm sure everyone who spends their life online will keep a watchful eye on them. However, I just can't figure out why Carl or Mudahar decided to take it to the next level and accuse them of stealing money or missing funds.
I'll tell you why. Because the videos were performing well, and they got locked in, and they overcommitted many such cases. Why is it that when a man abuses a woman online, people escalate that to the point where it gives a guy an easy out? You'll see this a million times. A guy treats a woman like shit, is verbally or emotionally abusive, and then somehow along the way, it becomes a false rape allegation. And then it gets debunked, and the guy walks, and everybody forgets that he was an abusive piece of shit before the allegation even happened. It happens all the time. It's super common that people who have a lead, right, who are doing damage to somebody, who are like getting gassed up by the entire community, get caught, and they just start repeating everything people tell them. Sensationalism gets clicks. I don't even think it's on purpose some of the time. I even have my own philosophy, and I've explained this to you multiple times. In like a Me Too scenario, because I see this a lot in those specifically, at like the fifth girl, I really kind of stop listening, for better or for worse, and I focus up on the ones that are there. You know why? Because there aren't a lot of false allegations in real life. If your friend walks up to you and says something terrible has happened to her, odds are she's probably telling the truth. The reality is that false allegations are extremely small in number. But you know where they're kind of high in number? You know where they're most likely to occur? Social media. And if they're going to happen on social media, it's probably going to be the fifth or sixth person who comes forward who didn't really have anything to go with and then just kind of dogpiled on. For the most part, the easiest way to avoid like a clout chaser backpacking off of a drama is to kind of have like a mental cutoff. Because and it's not like, oh, let's disavow that person. Oh, let's blow up that person's story. But as the person covering it, I'm just not really going to give a lot of airtime to it because it's more inherently risky to cover that. Because at this point, it's already played out. And for the most part, you've already got a guy red-handed. But when you have these people jump in and intertwine themselves deeply into the story, it gives people like an easy out. Yeah. Unfortunately true. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I've seen this happen a million times. It might sound cold, callous, and rude to say stuff like that. But ultimately, like, I've done this on multiple occasions where I've had to cover these stories, and like a King Ani pops up in the middle of an I'm Alex drama. I mean, do you remember when she put out her twit longer, when her story was like, Alex was mean to me, also the stuff with Slazo wasn't my fault, and she tried to make the whole thing about her? That was kind of shitty. Remember that? I mean, we called that out immediately and just moved on. Like, I wasn't really interested to hear her explain the Slazo stuff like 6 years later. But, yeah.
I just saw Keffel's tweet on
Thank you.
DeOrio.
People really think that you can substantiate those claims
Ultimate domestic violence review.
based off the random shit you find on the internet? Mudahar apparently faced some heat from people who blamed him for performing, quote, bad math.
I really did attempt my very best at trying to identify the possible revenue sources.
I didn't even know this happened, dude. Wait, so he's responding to his criticism of bad math.
For that lowballed math that I did. You can say bad math, but again, I am lowballing based on what I can reasonably deduce.
It's not bad math, Mudahar, it's bad accounting, and a bad understanding of tax accounting. Math is an element of accounting, yeah, but it's a very small aspect of it. Any fifth grader can punch some numbers into a calculator.
Or ChatGPT.
Doesn't make them ready to become a tax accountant. I don't doubt that Carl...
By the way, can I just say, not glazing here, but I'm kind of glazing here. This guy's pretty good. This is a 200 sub YouTuber that we're talking about right now. He's pretty good.
and Mudahar tried their best in researching this, but just because you tried your best doesn't mean you did well at all. Not only were their tax calculations done incorrectly, not only was their evidence not credible, I'm of the opinion that their overall efforts that they employed to research the claims of embezzlement and missing money was shit.
From my excellent accounting perspective, I think these guys suck.
I just spent the last 40 minutes explaining to you that they put in zero effort to actually investigate how to report nonprofit revenues in a tax form. There are several other examples where Carl and Mutahar either didn't fact-check what they were saying or didn't really understand what they were looking at. So instead of digging deeper, they just speculated and added more doubt to OpenHand's already shady behavior. Carl and Mudahar were already called out by some people regarding one of the mistakes in their investigation about the tax filings lacking a signature.
Is this going to be Mooney?
Then he in this video mentions the point of electronic signatures as if that was a massive point in the original
Oh no, it's talking about Gerard's direct response.
videos anyways. It wasn't.
Don't let Mudahar
And you'll notice that like anything that's like bad is not a massive part. Anything that's like not bad is like is the overwhelming piece of the puzzle here.
fool you here.
Like remember like Mudahar's example when 8 minutes of his video is based off a fabrication that he got completely wrong because he didn't do any research. It was a minor point in his video. When he messes up something here, it was a minor point. I don't know.
Whether it was a big or little point is irrelevant.
It's not a big or a little. It's massive.
And do you know what else is massive?
There we go.
If it wasn't a major point, then why was it part of their videos in the first place? Think about it.
Yeah, again, when you're accusing somebody of fraud, you might want to trim off the fat and hit them with the main shit.
Carl and Mudahar.
Yeah, like if I'm making a video exposing someone as a child molester, am I really going to put a part in the video about, well, you know, I think his content is kind of lazy and his reactions aren't very good. Yeah, like, I mean, that reminds me of the, what was the David Citrus gaming video by Jay Aubrey that I hated for years and I always brought up about? They're accusing a guy of being a child groomer, and there's an entire section about how his videos are lazy at the very beginning of the video. It made me laugh, because it's like, he's a pedophile and his videos are bad, was like the allegation in it.
Are trying to tell you a story of deception and are questioning the legality of OpenHand's conduct. These other small problems that they bring up with OpenHand help bolster their larger claims.
You could do that to add time to the video? You gotta pad out fucking fraud? These videos weren't on the cusp of the 10-minute mark. They're like 45-minute mega pieces, right? You don't really have to pad a 40-minute... Dude, my chat is screaming at me, Nick, please stop uploading 2-hour chunks! Sorry, chatter said I've gotta pad it out.
Mutahar may be Indian, but the hype for Battlefield 6 is real. Join the free beta on August 9 to 10 on PC.
Bro, why do you
PS5
love
and
Battlefield
Xbox.
so much? Thank you for your chat. Thank you so much for your donation.
Mudahar is missing the bigger picture here. It's their lack of effort to fact-check their own assertions.
Many such cases
they made in their own videos. Nobody asked Carl and Mudahar to make a video about embezzlement or missing funds. They chose to do that. The viewers are trusting Carl and Mudahar to tell them factual information throughout their coverage. Rather than Mudahar take responsibility for the mistake, he just shrugs it off and acts like it was never really that important to begin with.
This is the same thing as the Ethan Klein video that we watched 3 streams ago and is live on the channel. You can check it out. It's the same story. It's all the same story. This guy, they individually judge him on a situation-to-situation basis, and we're watching reruns.
Taking down the Muda is gay video? Weird that he took it down.
Many people would say that content like this...
Yeah. Maybe we won't watch it. I don't know. Oh, updates and corrections in the description. It's not weird if we have it. Oh, we're learning about this in real time. Updates, corrections. I found an older mention of a possible Ryan that is seemingly not Nexpo. While it previously seemed apparent that this was Ryan being referred to, it's likely the other Ryan instead. Upon further checking, the 2019 wedding is not Kyle's, which in fact... Ooh. All right, we might watch this, but it has the corrections in here, so Harmful might have blew this. Funny enough. Ooh, that could be interesting. The story of cheating on his girlfriend at Kyle's wedding, of course, stands on its own as an amazing tale. This video was taken down almost immediately for community guideline. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. He uploaded a new video, just got the notif, so he just... All right, well, we haven't covered this yet. Apology to some ordinary gamer in Nexpo. So we'll watch this first, probably. We'll watch this first, and we'll check out the other video. All right, that's probably it with this one. Let's see a little bit more of the accounting one, and then I will obviously recommend this. If anyone can spam the link in chat right now.
So it's like it doesn't even matter that they got it wrong. Ironically, in this video, Mudahar actually points out a second oversight he and Carl made in their original...
But what this could be, we haven't seen it yet, the Harmful Opinions video that we're about to watch, it could be another example of overextending. Yeah, we have the good video on Mudahar's like engineering claim, and there's one about the military that I haven't even watched, right? And then now there's one where he's apparently gay and had sex with Nexpo, and apparently that's not accurate. So obviously it's cool to issue an apology about it, but that could be an example, like we've been talking about the entire night, of overextending. You're not immune to it. I'm not immune to it. I've done it myself.
Now, in this video, I just want to stress for the record, when it came to the golf tournament, some of the money that was pledged was apparently by Gerard and their own...
It's a joke video. I mean, that's just kind of cope, you know? If he's issuing a correction on it, it's not a joke video.
Their own statements could have been rolled over into following years, right? Which absolutely is something...
If it's a joke video, it would still be up.
That could happen, and I'm glad they clarified it.
What Mudahar is referring to here is something called an accounting methodology. In short, an accounting methodology helps determine when an organization should be recognizing...
All right, we're going to stop here. I actually recommend you go check this out. It's an hour and 32 minutes. There's a lot of heavy accounting in the very beginning, but I swear to God, the punch is really good towards the end. We watched a little bit of it, and he's been actually in the chat tonight. He's been really cool. Accounting in YouTube. I sub this channel. This is a criminally underviewed video and a story that people have been kind of suppressing for a while because nobody wants to talk about Gerard in an even slightly positive light. Despite the fact that, like, this video isn't even a pro-Gerard video. It's kind of just correcting accounting issues and going over yet another case of Mudahar being absolutely horrible at his job. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the gay cheating scandal, and then we're going to talk about the EHD content for the night that we backloaded instead of front-loaded, because these subjects are frankly more important. So first things first, we're going to watch the apology video as to not spread further misinformation, if that is what is happening here from Harmful Opinions. Harmful Opinions, of course, made probably the, arguably the better video, I would say. I mean, Nick Andros's video has all the clips, but I think the engineer, the I Hate Mudahar video, is that which one it was? The one that starts talking about the posts on the site with the cancer stuff. We covered this the first time. He also covered the, what is it? The Intel stuff. That was Harmful Opinions. That's the British Gooner Man. I don't know if he's a British Gooner Man. That was slander. I apologize.
It was going to seem like a joke, considering it's the first thing I've uploaded since Mudahar's response to recent drama, but I assure you it is absolutely not. I'd like to apologize unreservedly to Mutahar of some...
Who the fuck said this was a joke? Ban that guy. Don't ban. I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Ordinary gamers and Ryan of Nexpo, as well as you, the viewer. This video has not been prompted in any way by any third party. I just decided this evening to check for information in a couple places I didn't, and it turns out I screwed the pooch. I went full retard. I did exactly what I would tear someone else apart for. I got a few pieces that seemed like they fit together, and instead of continuing to check and make sure, I boldly threw what I had out there, and even laughed at other people, when this time, I'm the joke. A link...
This is very respectable. I mean, like, most people don't do this when they get shit wrong. We're gonna watch the video that's been unlisted, but people are asking why it's down. It seems like he just kind of got not majority, like the main feature points of his video wrong.
To my previous video with corrections in the description can be found below, but I'll summarize the problems here to try my best to correct what I've done wrong. I shared a clip of Mutahar talking about making out with his friend Ryan at his friend Kyle's wedding.
What?
While he was in a relationship with a woman who was unhappy about that happening. I also shared a clip of Mutahar talking to Ryan of Nexpo about making out or potentially sucking his dick because he is so blackout drunk he won't remember it.
Maybe we should have watched the other video first. I mean, this is the right way to do it, but this is like a lot of information. This is like a lot of information right now, and okay, so this is definitely not the correct order. It was the responsible order to watch this video.
Confirmation bias got the better of me. I went, okay, light bulb, that's the Ryan. However,
yeah, I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. What? This segment is just taking a turn.
Taking more time to...
Let's watch the other video first, knowing it'll be retracted. I feel like the right thing to do is to not present the misinformation before the correction. No, he might not be gay. Well... He might be gay, which is okay, but I don't know. The thing is, people have been begging me all night to just skip to this part of the stream, and if I did, I would have... Again, I got lazy, I covered something else, and you know what? It saved me again. I could have totally done this too.
to look into it, which I should have before publishing a video, I no longer think that's clear, and think there may be a different Ryan, who I found mentioned in older videos. Additionally, I said I suspected Kyle's wedding where this gay cheating occurred was a 2019 wedding that Mutahar had mentioned in a video. This is absolutely not the case, and Kyle's wedding occurred in 2017, further supporting the idea that the Ryan Mutahar made out with while
So he had like timeline issues, like dramatically wrong.
having a girlfriend may not have been Nexpo unless Mutahar knew him somehow before he started doing YouTube, which
Yeah, it's probably not Nexpo.
I haven't seen.
Nexpo, if you're watching right now and you want to confirm or deny if you've had homosexual sex with Mudahar, I mean, I don't think he doesn't have to call in for that. I think he's probably okay.
To be the case. Additionally, I showed a clip of Mutahar talking to Dr. K about a girlfriend he'd had who was supposedly terminally ill, having end-of-life care with serious heart conditions. I suggested this could have been the girlfriend he had at the time of Kyle's wedding, but now that I've found that details of Kyle's wedding actually are online, and it was in 2017, that must be incorrect.
So you said that Mudahar cheated on his cancer-ridden girlfriend with a man at a wedding, and she didn't like it. Okay, well, I'm glad that he has done this research himself and is coming out and explaining that. It is commendable.
An absolute embarrassment. I don't know what I was doing not putting in the time I needed to. And I again
this is what Mudahar's response should have sounded like as well. Am I wrong here? I mean, it is fair to give harmful opinions a ton of shit for this, but this is like kind of what I expected Muda's response to be.
Reservedly to Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers and Ryan of Nexpo.
That's very salacious. Well, if I knew what that meant, I might argue with you about it.
I'm not sure how likely
Yo, Tommy, what's up? Mudahar gave me cancer. Base Tommy C.
it is that either of you will see this, and I don't expect forgiveness given how intensely I went at and have been going at Mutahar, but I am genuinely ashamed of my lack of due diligence in this instance.
Based and epic and awesome pilled.
Of course, actions speak loud.
That's very sultry. Is that like, are like turkeys potentially sultry? No, that's poultry. Okay, never mind. I'm literally, never mind.
Better than words. To demonstrate my remorse and my understanding of how badly I've failed here, not just with regard to the two public figures I've wronged, but also my duty to you, the audience, I will not be covering any further developments in this or anything to do with Some Ordinary Gamers beyond looking at other people's coverage on stream, because given my terrible performance in that previous video, I don't think it's reasonable to expect anyone to trust me when I publish original coverage.
Yeah, Mudahar really can't say that I'm not going to cover anything that I would use my fucking engineering expertise, because that would kind of, dude, he just wants to go back to covering that stuff. Remember, guys, we're gonna do more. Hoo boy, more Linux. Ha! Hoo boy, more Linux. You can't do that.
It's good to check things yourself and you shouldn't trust blindly, but that's not the reality of how people watch YouTube. Trust is...
Yeah, this is just way overextended.
...a major factor. I've been presenting myself in a way that I simply didn't live up to in that last video. And when someone pretends to be something they're not, it would be
Am I getting taken for...
Could
you imagine we're getting taken for a ride, and in the last minute he's like, oh, by the way, here are the leaked Discord messages of Mudahar confirming that he has had sex with Ryan of Nexpo. Bye. Dude, I would die. I would literally die.
Just to expect everyone to overlook that. Should something worth talking about come up in future, it will have to be after I believe I've earned the right to expect your trust back. I will make no defense of my mistakes. There is no defense. It was simply wrong not to take the time I should have. I was cocky.
You're just online brain. No, I'm waiting for the perfect Marvel movie ending.
$5, my man.
Thank you.
Aggressive, arrogant, and negligent. I deserve all of the mockery I directed at Mutahar in that last video, and more. And while I stand behind the videos before the last one, they cannot be weighed against these mistakes. You cannot say, sorry I did something wrong, but look at all this good I did.
Oh, wait a minute. I can hear it now. Can you hear it now? That's exactly what Mudahar said in his video when he came back, right? Is that like a subtle dig at Mudahar? Because like, sorry, I lied to you, but I think I helped a lot of people, right?
Behavior doesn't buy you the right to do something wrong now and then. As a treat. If anything, it only makes it worse, because it means there's a...
Oh, something's coming. I can smell it in the water.
Bunch of...
I can smell the rain.
Stuff that's worthwhile, that your mistake undermines people's ability to trust and want to engage with. I present myself as competent and having an eye for detail. I talk as if I'm better than those I'm covering, but in that last...
Oh no, dude, wait a minute. No. no, 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 no.
That was absolutely not the case.
We're getting riddled. He's riddling me right now. I'm getting riddled, dude.
I come across as weird that I'm saying so
I'm getting YouTuber riddled.
much, and I'm not trying to self-flagellate or something. But if I don't make it clear that I know everything I have to be sorry for, why on earth would you believe I'm sorry at all? Not to say it's merely about convincing you.
I'm kind of lost. Basically, what he's doing right now is making like subtle commentary and jab at Mudahar's current response video. By doing exactly what he's saying here, he's like kind of spitting in Mudahar's face, because Mudahar literally just went and did all of the stuff he's criticizing.
In fact, I'm sure many of you do not care either way. You just like a video that'll give you a laugh. But it's not about you feeling offended or feeling wronged. It's about what I did being wrong. I am sorry for what I did wrong. And once again, I apologize unreservedly to Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers and Ryan of Nexpo.
So he puts this video out, there's no big twist at the end, and I feel like he does kind of... This is basically also a video, like, going over Muda's response, but just not explicitly saying it. Alright, now that we know this is not a true allegation, and we can navigate the parts of this that are completely inaccurate, we can find out what the fuck the gay rumor is, because... we're going to probably 1-2-5 this and get through it now that we know there's like huge glaring flaws, but I'm more than interested in the clips.
This is trash, worthless, petty drama. And in response, I would say, simply, yes. A couple years ago when I started living with my
Oh, he really unlisted it? Yeah, we'll go through this too. We'll go through these, but we already kind of read it.
girlfriend, I also started watching the shows she likes with her. Married at First Sight, Love Island, Love is Blind. And you know what? I got it. I understood the appeal. And I realized there's way more of this to be found online, unscripted. Now maybe that makes me...
All right. If there's any women left in the chat after the domestic abuse segment, okay? That's an insane sentence. I recently watched a show called The Royals. Is that what it's called on Netflix? It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst acting I have ever seen. I have never in my entire life witnessed a worse show. Is that what The Royals? Is that what it's called? I had to watch a bunch of that show, and it was literally horrendous. And I could not believe that, like, they ordered more seasons of it.
Gay, but still, certainly not as gay as Mutahar is. But we'll get to that shortly. And I'm not just saying, look at him, he's gay. Longtime viewer of the...
Big Mouth was Big Mouth is not even the same type of show. Big Mouth is like some weird fetish material show. The Royals is just like a bad British royal family thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know what you mean.
The channel who I've met in real life and done nothing with, Hexathian, is also gay, and he's a valued member of the community. You might know him as the creator of the ultimate
weird adult animated, potentially illegal fetish.
YouTuber gay sex chart. This is not homophobic.
Wait, what? The YouTuber gay sex chart? Who's on that shit, dude?
Longtime viewer of the channel who I've met in real life and done nothing with, Hexathian, is also gay, and he's a valued member of the community.
Dude, this guy's literally showing his gay, like, I have tons of gay friends, bro, so I can make this video claim. That's nuts.
Now, at the time I was in a...
Look, I was friends with Bo Blacks for years. I mean, I didn't know, but I was still friendly with him, and if I hated gay people, I would sniff it out, so...
Relationship with another woman, right? And unfortunately, what happened was me and my best friend Ryan, all right, we're talking best friend, I've known Ryan for years. We were so wasted that at some point in the night, me and Ryan started fucking making out for the hell of it. Like, we're talking tongue in mouth, we made out, we got real gay with each other for like 10 seconds. And I woke up on the couch.
His girlfriend...
I feel like that doesn't just happen, you know? Like, you've never been hanging with the homies and you just start fucking making out. I feel like that doesn't just happen. Yeah, it's like... Okay, but the issue is that Ryan, and they're going to imply, Harmful Opinion is going to imply that Ryan is Nexpo, and that's just not accurate.
We got real gay with each other for like 10 seconds, and I woke up on the couch.
His girlfriend at the time apparently wasn't very happy with this.
I was told the entire hour back when I was driving, she was so pissed at me last night.
He says last night, but he clearly doesn't mean last night now. He's just wasted.
She was like, you cheated on me with your friend. And then she laughed at me.
Ryan, the man he cheated on his girlfriend at the time with, appears to be the YouTuber Nexpo.
So this is not accurate. This part is wrong. He said, I found older mentions of a possible Ryan that is seemingly not Nexpo. While it's previously seemed apparent this was Ryan that was being referred to, it is likely the other Ryan instead.
That isn't the only time he's talked about kissing him and potentially doing more with him while drunk.
You say it doesn't happen, but Salvo did it with Chris. I think my opinion stands. Oh, you're right. It was the weed. It was the weed that does this.
Hey, Ryan, can you please kiss Muda?
No.
Please.
I wanna make out, babe.
Unless.
I'm drunk enough, dude. I won't remember this.
Have to super chat for that kind of
Later on. Yeah. You have to do it off screen. I'll suck his dick after, I'll let you know.
Perhaps.
All right, that's a little bit much to jump to the conclusion that him and Ryan had like a gay love affair.
He would even suck Ryan's dick. Maybe that even happened at his friend Kyle's wedding from the other story.
And you know how like the first thing you do is you like
Do you think that that his girlfriend would have laughed at him if he sucked a guy's cock at a wedding?
check your lips like
I feel like you'd just dump your partner and never talk to them again if they just started committing oral sex after a wedding.
Huh. Oh,
stop pausing, Jesus fucking Christ. You made me pause again to ban you from my channel.
shit. I think I did something. And like I'm just like touching my lips like this is a little fucking it's like it felt like I had
Alright, that was mean. I'm gonna unban you. I'm gonna unban you. I'm gonna unban you.
Huh. Oh shit. I think I did something. And like I'm just like touching my lips like this is a little fucking it's like it felt like I had lip gloss on. And I was like
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? What do you mean?
Huh. I think I fucked Ryan.
Okay. Alright.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, this is for the gays. I think you should know that if you have the hots for Muta, you're definitely in with a chance. After all, he doesn't regret this experience at all.
Dude, it wasn't even like I regretted it. Like it was fucking good. Looking guy.
It's just a little joke with a friend though, right? Haha, doesn't mean anything. Here's Mutahar's take on that idea from when he was on the Kino Casino last year.
You're not really joking when you're actually doing the degenerate thing, right? Like
Mudahar went on Kino Casino last year. This guy claims he doesn't like drama. What?
It's like if you filmed like gay with your
dude. This is Lord Vega, but not. This is like the white Lord Vega apparently.
You're doing the degenerate thing, right? Like it's like if you filmed like gay with your buddy. It's like no, it's just a joke, bro. Like you know, I'm not.
Yeah, dude. Put the balls in your mouth.
I'm just picking him off a little bit, right? Like don't be weird about it.
And again, for the gays, I'm going to spill
Nick
even more.
just started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Yeah, I can see how this is like a choose your own adventure kind of just pulling any because this is the peril of having access to specific quotes from somebody's entire video discography. It's kind of like the Twitch TOS and that like you're kind of doing a choose your own adventure game trying to find the clips that match the narrative you started with. You're not stumbling onto stuff because you're not watching it organically. You're looking for a keyword, and in this case it's gay or like oral sex or like Ryan. So you're just looking for every mention of a Ryan that involves gay oral sex, and eventually you'll hit the narrative that you're looking for.
Or tea, because I know you love that. It's entirely possible that Mutahar was cheating on a terminally ill woman with a man. So,
which by the way is not accurate.
2020 is when he's talking about this gay experience and flirting with Ryan. He says the actual makeout, or possibly more. He says he was blackout drunk and doesn't fully remember. He says this happened at his friend Kyle's wedding. It's hard to pin down when that happened. I can't find Kyle saying when it was, but I can find Mutahar saying he went to a wedding in 2019.
I was supposed to go to this New York wedding, and which I did, right?
Which is the year before he told us about his gay experience. I was going to check the Cult Camp podcast, which he did with Kyle, whose wedding he went to, for mentions of New York. But while a few days ago when I started looking into the guy, that channel existed, it has since been deleted. Possibly at Mutahar's instruction, because Kyle, the guy whose wedding Mutahar went to, has been defending him on Reddit and telling people that he's talking to him, and Mutahar says he's not going to respond. I would argue personally, however, that deleting fucking everything.
Whoa, what is this? No, full stop. Your claim that his credentials are fraudulent, and as far as I'm aware from my conversations with him, he won't respond to these dumb fuck allegations. Bro, 2 days ago, Mudahar wasn't responding, and then he responded today. That's so funny. The term engineer is used fairly loosely and colloquially in the tech industry. It literally does not pay attention to address this. It doesn't pay to address this shit, because people accusing him will not change their mind regardless of proof presented. But it doesn't appear there was any proof. It seems like it was kind of true. It's a lynch mob whose sole interest is destroying someone they dislike.
To him, and Mutahar says he's not going to respond. I would argue personally, however, that deleting fucking everything is a response, and it forces me to speculate. And
with this blunder in mind, do you think the commentary community should stop using clips 10 years and trying to put it together? No. I think they should just do it correctly. Yeah, Nick Andros, the gay accusations are still legitimate, but Mudahar cheating on a terminally ill woman was wrong. Yeah, that's what I said. Well, I mean, the clip isn't fake. It's him talking, right? It's the parts in between that have some misinformation, but we covered it. We watched the apology, so we know specifically which stuff is wrong.
I asked you to clarify, because to me it looks like it probably was. In 2024, you described that wedding as having happened a few years ago.
Ultimately, when YouTubers are online for 10 years, people will pull up clips from 10 years ago. And I think you can establish patterns of behavior. You just have to be careful. And guys like Mudahar who shoot OBS videos. And look, I'm not claiming my history of covering things is perfect. I've gotten plenty of shit wrong, especially since I started streaming. I'll be the first one to say it, right? That being said, when your main piece of drama is OBS video recordings that aren't scripted, or if they are scripted, they're very light, people taking those at a huge... I guess if you're going to get all your drama from Charlie or Mudahar, you kind of got to understand that, like, 15 to 20% of the stuff they're telling you is probably going to end up being wrong. And that's just because there are people here who actually give a shit about these topics. And there are people here who are doing a bit more than filming their OBS video recording. And those guys are not those people. You know what I mean? Like, there is the type of people who don't give a shit about the story they're covering. They're just doing it because, like, that's the current trending topic. And you're always going to find some of these smaller guys who are doing it a bit more in depth, who are probably more well-versed in the subject they're covering.
Go.
This photo is actually from my buddy Kyle's wedding. All right, this happened, like, I want to say a few years ago at this point, too.
And we know it happened before that 2020 video, so I doubt it happened much longer before 2019. So I gotta ask,
The issue is looking for gay in every video for 10 years and piecing it together. You miss the context of why the person is making the statement. Yeah, absolutely. And I also think that looking a 10-year period to find out if someone's gay or not is a huge waste of time and probably not relevant to literally anything. So, I mean, yeah, gay investigating somebody over a 10-year period is dramatic and over the top, but you know who agrees with you?
Many people would say that content like this is trash, worthless, petty drama. And in response, I would say, simply, yes, a couple years ago when I started...
And if it was true, it'd be funny. If Mutahar was fucking Nexpo and cheated on a terminally ill cancer woman at a wedding, that would be funny. It's just not accurate.
Ask, was that 2019 wedding Kyle's? Because if it was, I think I know who you were dating. In 2021, he had an interview with Dr. K where he talked about dating a woman who was terminally ill.
So I'm gonna jump a little bit here, okay? So what you can make sure of is that you don't fall in love with someone that acts of God can take away from you.
Dude, someone's like, oh, wait, fuck, now I understand what gay ops means. It's like, no.
Right. Lord knows I made that mistake, yeah. They're still fine now, don't worry. Like, they have a few more years to go.
Nah, don't worry, bro, it's chill. They're just gonna croak next year.
Yeah, that mistake.
You know, wait, does your ex-girlfriend have double cancer too? Oh, sorry, not Boogie. I meant Mudahar. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I see them as such similar people now, even though Boogie is objectively worse.
The rare thing when I say something like that is like a hypothetical.
No, this person has a... Well, I'll tell you, this person has a POTS, so it's a tachycardia. It's really bad. They have a couple more syndromes regarding it, like long QT and everything of that nature. So for them, they've had...
You claim to care about rape,
Thank
and
you.
you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry for the engineering BS. PE, professional engineers, are probably the only ones that can call themselves engineers. As
POTS
they
is
can
not
testify
terminal?
in court, sign off on binding contracts, dogs, etc.
Is POTS terminal? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know for a matter of fact what that thing is, because I'm literally Googling it for the very first time. But if Mudahar was making this video, he would like read chat and be like, "Oh yeah, POTS isn't terminal. He's lying. I think this guy's a fraud."
Sinus node surgery modifications, like
It might not be. I don't know. I'm not gonna claim it.
burning on their hearts and things like that.
This all makes sense, by the way. People with POTS get ablation done.
Doctors have told specialists who are trained in this field have started to, give up and sort of give like end of life. I have to be told about like what a DNR is, like a do not resuscitate order.
With all the issues she had, this girlfriend was apparently terminal. And when did he date her?
Can you tell me how old you were when you met this person?
I would say that I was 24. So,
Okay.
3 years ago.
This makes sense as well. In earlier 2019, he talks about being single for over a year.
Guess what? You want to know? I've been single for fucking well over a year now.
And then a bit later that year, he talks about being in a relationship.
Are you single? Yes or no? No, I'm not single, Chai. I'm actually very well committed to somebody. So
Met her when he was 24, which he would have been from 2018
So I think he's gonna connect it here to the gay incident in the wedding, which is incorrect.
to 2019. Was single but ended up dating someone in 2019 at some point. That's our girl. And if that 2019 wedding was Kyle's, the one where you made out with...
Yeah, this video is really not worth having up. I kind of disagree that like the stuff in the video is worth showing. it's kind of the main principled argument. This is the main point of the video. If all of this is incorrect, I totally understand why he unlisted it. Because, like, now, what are you doing? You're invoking his potentially dead ex-girlfriend in here to accuse him of cheating on her with Nexpo. The entire video is fucking fake. It's just there's one funny clip in the beginning where he's like, I might have had sex with my friend at a wedding in 2017. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's good on him for taking the video down. I don't really think there's anything substantial here even worth watching anymore. The story of cheating on his girlfriend at Kyle's wedding, of course, stands on its own. It is an amazing tale, but I should have taken more time to check before throwing this out there. With that question, I could have found the answer on my own and stating things that I apparently in a certain way when I didn't do my due diligence. My unreserved apologies to Mudahar, Nexpo, and all of his viewers. I botched this one. Upon further checking, the 2019 wedding is not Kyle's, which occurred in 2017. This means the ill girlfriend's timeline does not line up with the gay cheating story. It also makes it even less likely the Ryan in question was Nexpo. If I had checked the drunk stream more carefully, I would have known that Kyle's wedding was not in New York. The information actually was there. I mean, this reminds me of the time that I completely blew the story on Turkey Tom's N-word thing.
Tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Where I thought it was, who did I think it was? It was that other one.
It's a neurological disorder that makes life difficult, but it's in no way terminal.
Who's the...
It just really
All right,
sucks.
how do I word this? Who's the guy who made, like, the Butch Hartman videos with, like, the weird wife? That's probably not a nice way to explain him, especially considering the top. LS Mark. Yeah, where I thought LS Mark was the guy who sold Tom out to D'Angelo Wallace, and it was literally there. I just completely butchered it and got it wrong. But yeah. I totally forgot about that guy. I liked his Butch Hartman videos. I watched a little bit of his stuff. POTS is not neurolog. I don't know. I have no idea what POTS is, dude. POTS could stand for Pumpkin Otter Tourette Syndrome, and I would literally not know the difference. So I'm not really the guy to bring up about that. And then this video was taken down for a complaint. So yeah, 77,000 views. Jesus. I'm glad that he corrected it. What did they say on this thing? First. So we saw this pretty fucking quickly, dude. Refresh.
This video is gonna...
We can never prove it was him. I think it was wasn't it some, I forgot who it was, some girl? I don't remember. We covered it. We talked to LS Mark on Augie's stream about it and cleared it up. I don't know if you need to exile yourself from Mudahar videos going forward. It's nice you're correcting himself, but people thinking Muda is gay is probably the least of his concerns right now. That's not really the point. Super refreshing to see somebody take accountability. Damn, bro, now you're both gay. Fair play, owning up to your mistake. Currently watching the casino segment over right now and seeing it is pretty funny. Whoa, buddy. Considering Tim does play the ukulele, the straightness to not use an apology video is impressive. Wow, a proper YouTube apology, taking all accountability with no deflections. I mean, this is probably good for him, yeah. Previous video, so he didn't even try to hide it. He just took it down. I don't get why Harmful included it, because it didn't add much other... Because it was funny. That's literally why. He did it because he thought it was funny. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that people put in this Mudahar story that doesn't really matter. The main one that I'll point out is going over his OPSEC and trying to find his location based off how far he said that GameStop was away. Again, your entire video stands up perfectly fine. We come to all the same conclusions without showing that. So there's tons of parts of this story that I don't necessarily agree with being, I guess, used. But ultimately, I didn't make that video, so... No, I didn't show it on my channel. Well, I didn't show that part of the video on my channel. I did show the video. I think it's wise for Harmful to choose to not cover more Muda stuff. Well, I mean, Muda, he's not... Alright, so this is what Harmful Opinions is doing, in my opinion. Because obviously I don't know what's inside his fucking head. I'm not Brad Taste of Music. I don't have telepathy. Right? What I'm getting out of this is Harmful Opinions is acknowledging that he's made a tremendous mistake, whilst he's currently riding a significant channel high. I don't know, maybe not significant channel high, because his other videos do get high viewership and stuff, right? But like, obviously this is a big story right now that he's very invested in, and he let himself kind of get pulled away into territory where he accidentally just posted a video entirely filled with wrong information. I think it's admirable to be in a position where you realize, oh, I've dramatically overextended. I'm going to move on and cover something else. Because I'm not saying compromised, like he's completely compromised, but to acknowledge that fault and then not continue moving forward, if you've kind of caught yourself in that position, is probably a admirable thing to do, you know? Wireless. That is the correct pronunciation. He has a conflict of interest. Yeah, in some capacity, probably. But I think every YouTuber could have a conflict of interest when their income is on the line to talk about any given subject. So I don't know how much that really stands up. But yeah, that's the Mudahar segment. Hoo boy, him Mudahar. We've covered that one now. And now for our tertiary subject of the night.